Ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, my name is Josephat Moses Uchieng, the Director, Macmillan Medical Training College. Today we've had a public lecture wherein we've invited various experts in matters concerning public health issues and brain disorders. I will not take much time, but allow me to welcome the Chief Principal to give her remarks. Then we have Dr. Nelly, who was leading this conversation, will give a remark. Then Professor Ogola will conclude this. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you so much, members of the press, and for the general public who are able to attend. We have learned so much. We are having this conversation. So my name is Sarah Oganda, Chief Principal, Macmillan Medical Training College. We have had an amazing conversation regarding neurodevelopmental disorders and the autism spectrum. Would like that we all join in the conversation. Let's see how we can better the life of the caregivers, people living with these disorders and these conditions. Just to continue with this conversation, we call out to the policy holders, the general stakeholders, people in schools. How do we make our environment better for this special population? How are we coming in as churches to make the environment better for this special population? So we'd not just like that this conversation ends here, but we'd like us to take it outside there and see on the best way to improve the life of this special population. So thank you so much, all those who have attended. But above all, we want to keep having this conversation and build up a community that is sensitive and are able to keep up and be very inclusive with this special population. Thank you so much. I'd like to welcome Dr. Bosire.
Thank you all. My name is Dr. Nelly Bosire. I'm an obstetrician and gynecologist. I practice in Nairobi. Today has been an honor to be invited to the university as a keynote speaker, and a topic that is fairly close to my heart. I always say there's no mom or there's no dad who goes out to have a child who will just survive. Every parent wants their child to thrive, irrespective of what complications they may come with. There's a lot we can do on our end to reduce the occurrence and the severity of neurodevelopmental disorders. There are others that may be beyond us, so it's upon us to, one, create public awareness, two, support policy change that acknowledges this community as part of us, three, destigmatize. These are our children. They will become adults who are able to fully contribute to society, but only if we give them a chance. So I would like to do this together. Let's come together as the future health professionals who will work in this space and take care of this for all of us, because we are potential parents, and for the community that supports all those who may be living with this condition. Thank you.
Thank you. And just before Prof, perhaps our mom can also give a remark.
Hello, my name is Lavenda Machuka, mom to a baby with hydrocephalus and spina bifida. I just love to say, having those conditions is not a death sentence. The child can live a normal life, and you as the parent or the caregiver help them to reach their full potential by loving them and providing the medical care they need. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Fred Ogola. I'm an economist and governance expert, and that's why I was so excited when I heard Dr. Nelly Bosire talk about this condition, because you see, I'm a consumer of data, and data that stuck on my head is that over 52 million children live with this condition, and that 95% are living in countries with low income. It means that this problem is a Kenyan problem, is an African problem, and therefore it is our problem. We cannot hide away from it. When we are working with Dr. Nelly Bosire, we used to discuss about human resource for health. And I'm very grateful to Macmillan Medical College for responding to this very important need of caregiver. Because you can get a doctor who can give you medicine. They can prescribe something. But the person who sits with you beside the bed, the person who, when you cough, when you sneeze, or when you vomit, Or for example, when you want to be helped, that sometimes family members are stressed up, that person is very important to you in accompanying you to treatment. And I want to call upon the Kenyan community to come together and see the need for dealing with children who are challenged, who have brain development challenges and disorders. Because some families hide them. That's why we don't see them. Don't be ashamed, like Mama has said here, that don't be ashamed of the child you have. Every child has been born by God. And I also remember a very important thing that has been said by Dr. Nelly Bosire, that a mother is a mother from conception. As a Catholic, life begins at conception and it ends at resurrection, isn't it? So before those things take place, it's important for us to check to see whether that life beginning, pre-pregnancy condition, preconception conditions are taken care of, pregnancy conditions passed, and after that we go to heaven to our Father. So I'm sure this was important for the policymakers. You say a budget was read, you do not know how much budget was read to target the human resource for health. When we don't do that, we suffer. I want to end by saying health is wealth. Brain health is even a bigger wealth. God bless you. God bless Kenya. God bless Macmillan.
I have a question to the director.
Sorry.
The question is, since you are director for a very big school, right now we have gaps. What gaps still exist in the healthcare system that need to be addressed in the community for Kenyans to understand this disorder? The major gap that exists now is human resource. When Dr. Ran was giving a presentation, he mentioned that if I'm not wrong, in general there is shortage of manpower and of professionals to handle this. So as an institution, specialists. As an institution, first we are responding by offering training in our basic level that we can manage as a mid-level training college. But most importantly, what we are doing right now here is to provide these are civic education and sensitization of the nation to respond to this. And therefore, that is why we are calling upon policymakers to, look at this matter and this issue with a keen interest and a keen eye. And number two, the government to allocate budget for training effective manpower to handle some of these issues. Thank you.
But also, most importantly, a culture of execution. The policies could be there, but execution of that culture is what we are doing. So Macmillan, what is important is not by asking what someone can do, but what can we do? So the journey has begun, and we are willing to walk that journey. What we are asking is join us in that journey, and then we can walk it together.
I want to talk about the real issue. You had so many misconceptions about the kids Can you address that issue? The misconceptions
I think it's important to know that autism spectrum disorder is not a disease you aim to cure, because it's not a disease, it's a condition. This is who you are. So I think the first issue is for us to get out of the space where we look at them as if they are not value adding because they have a condition. You'd be surprised that some of the world's most renowned scientists, performers, artists were actually having autism spectrum disorder. So we always say that even you standing there could have it. You just don't know it because nobody has evaluated you objectively. We get to live with what we have. There are people who will be born with a physical disability and they will still achieve great things. We do want it to be recognized for the disability it may bring so that they are supported where need be. But from the very beginning, we must realize that they have a lot to bring to society. My joke is that a lot of doctors are actually on the spectrum. My close friend, an amazing cardiologist, she's on the spectrum. And I would tell her, I think you are on the spectrum. And she'd be like, Now when she's actually been evaluated, she's like, all right, I actually agree. It's not a bad thing. It's a problem when it interferes with performance of normal function. And when we are supporting them, we want to help them get past that hurdle. But other than that, these are part of our community. We cannot all be the same. That is how special they come. We embrace them as they are.
And right now, in terms of, is it increasing, reducing the number?
Well, that's what we may not be able to tell, because as you know, in Africa, we have been made to work with figures of, this is the prevalence, this is the incidence. But those are not our figures. Nobody has studied our populations. We do not have sufficient data to tell us what did we have, so that then we can compare backwards and say we are increasing. What we know is that we have begun the journey to proper documentation. Proper data collection starts with first being able to diagnose the condition, so that then it is documented. As I said again, there are people who should have been diagnosed in childhood and they are knowing now. Where do we count that? Do we say it's an increase? They were already there in the population. They were just not counted back then. So we are on the journey to be able to establish. I know the government is doing a lot in the healthcare system to be able to put our data together to know. We've always focused on infections. Then we moved to non-communicable diseases, and now we are realizing non-communicable diseases these are some of the things. So we are just doing better at documentation, and maybe in another 10 years we may be able to answer that question.
In addition to that, you want to say something?
Oh my God. Good evening. My name is Paul Mugikizaka from Neurodivergent Society of Kenya. And I'm just going to add to Dr. Bosire's point and just say, first of all, autistic persons are human beings. That is one thing we ought to remember. They have a right to dignity, they have a right to life, they have a right to legal capacity, because that is one of the biggest misconceptions in Kenya, where autistic persons are seen as persons who do not have legal capacity, and we are here to disprove. I am autistic, and I am here to prove that I have legal capacity. I have gone all the way to law school, and I am continuing to break all odds, and so are other people, where I've said they are doctors, they are lawyers, they're engineers, and so forth. So, and we are considered as human beings first, before we are considered as autistic persons. So that is one thing we ought to remember. Thank you.
I believe that is it.
What can you address the government? How can you address the government to push Yeah, first and foremost, I said Macmillan can only do what it can do. There are so many channels to talk to government. There's parliament, there are other people, but today we're simply saying what Macmillan is doing. So we're asking government, come join us if we are giving best practices in the industry. We are giving information, we're interacting with real people. So we're asking government, if you find in Macmillan the institution that you can partner with to walk this journey, then come, you're welcome. Thank you.
So in that first hospital, they told us that mtoto amekaa vibaya, that she has to go for a CS. Kasema hiyo hapana, mimi mtoto niliweka vizuri. And I can confirm that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There's a verse I always quote everywhere I go. And that verse is Isaiah 6:8, which says, the Lord asked, whom shall I send? And I always say, we should say, here I am, Lord, send me. God has sent you to go make the world a better place, to treat people, to make them healthy. And I hope that you continue answering, here I am, Lord, send me. One day you'll get a call, somebody is feeling unwell. You might feel well, but remember that call, isn't it? That the answer should always be, here I am, Lord, send me. I won't take 3 hours, by the way. I want to talk, actually, the person we respect here the most here is Dr. Nelly Bosire. Maybe Daktari, you are too humble for life, really. When I was telling just father, that is Dr. Nelly, he told me, what do you mean? He became a little small and we squeezed ourselves at the corner. That's you. Dr. Nelly and I used to be in the board of St. Francis Community Hospital in Kasarani, and she was my chair. Can you please clap for her? She chaired me for 6 years, so can you believe now who should be applauded? So you guys, you had the finest of the finest talking to you. Don't look down upon yourself. How many people have the former chair of St. Francis Hospital for 6 years under the Archdiocese of Nairobi? We report to the Archbishop. Chair talking to you about this. Are you seeing how Macmillan is big? So today go home and ask people, how many of you have been addressed by a board chair? But before that, Dr. Nelly, I know you are working at KPMD, isn't it? KPDC. Remember, she was a board member there. Did you know who was talking to you? Ladies, please be proud. Can you just put your hands up and clap for that? Dr. Nelly, I don't know how much I was honored when I called you in Mombasa with him in the Mombasa campus. We're talking to the people over there. And when I called, she picked. First of all, I was surprised she picked my call. Then I was surprised she accepted. Then lastly, our dear principal told me, you are such a wonderful woman that when she called you, you are just responsive. Many people don't take this. Humility is indeed a very important virtue. You may not know where it has taken you, Doc. I'm supposed to be talking more about it because I'm overwhelmed by that. And when I conclude, I want to say that your journey and your destination is in your hands at this time. Some people have never gotten admission of anything. After your first admission, you can become Dr. Nelly. And sometimes you can do much better if we get one or two. Maybe talking to him, I'm going to wait just for to talk to Dr. Nelly directly because we have already whispered something. I don't want to go to the speeches which have been whispered. I can tell you guys, we began our career, Dr. Nelly can tell you hers, even just for myself, in a very humble background. Remain humble. History will reward those who are hardworking, disciplined, and humble. They reward them. I don't want to talk about myself today because it was not my day. Me, I only say that God has said, whom shall I send? Dr. Nelly says, there's nobody even cares about preconception. God is asking, whom shall I send? What do you say? Here I am, Lord, send me. For that woman who is not taking folic acid, what do you say? Come on. What should you say? Here I am, Lord. I'm taking folic acid. Yes. What are you fearing? Come on. And for those people who do not want to prepare for having children, it saves you a lot. What should you tell them? Here I'm, Lord. I'm preparing. Isn't it? Aman again. Thank you very much. God bless you. God bless Kenya. God bless Macmillan.
A few minutes, and really I'm humbled to be here, and I really thank our team, the staff of Macmillan, for organizing such an important event. I want to pick a little bit of what I've learned personally, and this that I've learned, I believe that I will be implementing them after this event now and in the future. I think we should first appreciate Dr. Nelly Bosire for reminding us that parenting begins long before the child is born. Today we have learned that even before a baby says mama or baba, the child is already listening to life. We have heard about fetal alcohol syndrome, stress hormones, genetics, milestone, autism, spinal bifida, hydrocephalus, and many other words that sound like they were invented by doctors who were paid per syllable. Honestly, when Dr. Nelly mentioned some of these conditions, I almost felt like asking for a spelling test before understanding the diagnosis. But behind these big medical names is a simple message. Healthy mother helps create healthy children. On one thing that touches me deeply was the discussion about stress during pregnancy. Imagine a pregnant mother working under a supervisor who behaves like an unpaid alarm clock. Every day, where is the report? The cruel supervisor asks. Why are you late? Why are you breathing loudly? Why are you spitting like a vending machine? These are questions that I believe sometimes we are bound to experience at work. Then we wonder why cortisol levels are rising in pregnant mothers. You know, I was picking words. Some of these words I've heard them for the first time, so when I pronounce them, consult Dr. Bosire. She has all the answers. After today's lecture, employers should know that when you support a pregnant employee, you are not helping one person, you are helping two people at the same time. And sometimes even future generations when you support pregnant mothers at work. And this make me make a clarion call to our legislators and policy makers that there is need to restructure our labor laws in connection to pregnant mothers at work. We also learned something important about cesarean section today. In Africa, sometimes when a woman delivers through CS, people start giving opinion like they are members of the surgical team. Let me give you a short story. 13 years ago, when my wife was going to deliver, I first took her to the first hospital. Of course, she was so strong and working abnormally. So because she was washing everything and cleaning everything, so I told her, I think today you must not sleep here. And she insisted that time is not yet. So in that first hospital, they told us that mtoto amekaa vibaya, that she has to go for a CS. Kasema hiyo hapana, mimi mtoto niliweka vizuri. And I can confirm that. When we talk about the C-section, my learning point today, the goal of the C-section is not for anything. It is for a healthy mother and a healthy child. We don't have to bring siasa, duni, na ya kitamaduni in matters health. Whether the baby come through the front door or the emergency exit, the important thing is that the baby arrives safely. That is my learning point. And I believe that my fellow men who are listening here and who will listen in the future will get this right, because I believe traditional men like some of us before we got born again into civilization are the ones who are opposed majorly to this C-section conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have also heard about developmental milestones, and parents know this pressure very well. When the neighbor's child starts talking 1 year, your child starts talking 3 years later, then suddenly one day your child speaks, and you might ask, the child could ask for a password for your phone. My learning point at that stage is that Your child is your child, and the neighbor's child is the neighbor's child. What matters most is you understanding the milestones and the history of your child and the journey that you've taken. Today's discussion reminds us that every child develops differently, and sometimes and something seems unusual. And when something seems unusual, early assessment is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of responsible parenting. I was also fascinated by genetic mapping and family history. Genetic mapping and family history. My daughters who are here, I advise that before you decide to bring children with that young man, I think it is important to consult doctors so that we prevent that which can be prevented. Today, science has given us another language to understand inheritance. And speaking of families, let us not forget caregivers. The lecturer reminded us about caregiver fatigue. That is our chief principle. Parents and caregivers of children with special needs are some of the strongest people in the society, and they deserve applause. In many of them work day and night, no shifts, no weekends, no public holidays, and sometimes no sleep. They deserve support, appreciation, and understanding. As a society, we must care for the caregivers too. And finally, we have discussed autism, spinal bifida, hydrocephalus, and other neurological conditions. The lessons I'm taking home is this: children are not problems to be fixed. They are gifts to be understood. Every child deserves dignity. Every child deserves opportunity. Every child deserves love. And every parent deserves accurate information instead of myths and stigma. On behalf of Macmillan Medical Training College, I thank Dr. Nelly Bosire, all the organizing team, our panelists present in this assembly. We really thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and may God keep blessing you, and may God keep blessing all of us. As I conclude, now in 1 minute, as the director of Macmillan Medical Training College and Macmillan Hospital, we've made one single commitment that we are going to give a revolutionary healthcare education, both in class and out of class. We have decided, and we know that we cannot do this alone. We are only able to do this through partnerships with people of like-minded. And I will say, everything that we are doing is for the good of the people. And therefore, I say, we the people. We the people. Somebody help me say, we the people.
We the people.
We the people.
We the people.
And now say, I am Macmillan.
I am Macmillan.
Now let me say, we the people, and you respond, I am Macmillan. We the people.
I am Macmillan.
We the people.
I am Macmillan.
We are the people of Macmillan who are dedicated to providing effective training in healthcare and providing effective and evidence-based diagnosis and treatment at Macmillan Hospital. Thank you, and may God bless you.